How's it going?
You look like I don't know what you look like there.
I have
It's like
this overhead light. Does it make me
you
look angelic?
you look psychedelic. You look like you're dead. Like spirit from another. He's a specter. I see.
Maybe I should
I can't tell if he's like Jesus or
yeah, I have a halo or something, right? Maybe I should
something.
sit somewhere else.
No, you're fine. Just go with it.
All right.
For the uninitiated, could you tell people who you are?
Dain Marx, D.A.Marx Toys, aka Buzzard Guts.
Wow. That's it?
What
do
else?
you do?
I do lots of things. I make resin figures for DKE Toys.
You
sell.
make them for yourself also.
Actually, I only make them for myself. I don't sell them.
I see. So let me ask you a question. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I guess the official answer to that would be, well, when I was a kid, I thought about it, and I wanted to be a robot builder. Is what I chose. Wanted to build robots.
Did that remain consistent throughout your childhood?
No.
No, it changed?
I mean, that's just what I put down on the test when they were like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
When I was a kid, you know, they had that little questionnaire. I was like, oh yeah, what do you want to be?
But did you attempt to pursue that by going to engineering school or trying to excel in math or science or?
No.
So was there a point at which you realized that like making robots was not in the cards and then you had to go do something else?
Yeah, probably early on, like when I was 11.
Wow, your dreams were crushed by age 11. Yeah, and then
I was
what?
over it by then.
You were what?
I was over it by then, of course.
I see. And then what did you want to be?
That's a hard question. I wish you would have sent me these questions ahead of time so I had time to think about it. What did I want to be? I guess when I got out of high school, I went to college for communications. I was going to do media stuff like TV, radio. And then I got bored with that like in one semester, and I went back to college for art, and then dropped out after a few semesters of that. And
why?
the school.
What was the reasoning there?
Dropping out of art school?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess they weren't really teaching me what I wanted to learn, and I guess, you know, I was learning more from just living life.
Yeah. So then you dropped out of art school. What age are you at when that happens?
19.
19, and then how old are you? When did we meet?
We met in
DCON
2014.
2014. All right, so that's 6 years ago. How old are you now?
I think I'm 50.
50.
I'm 48.
Okay.
How old are you, Dub?
73 to 19. I had my birthday this year. I'm 47.
Hey, we're close.
Yeah. Okay. So I met you 2014, and you're 50 now. So you were 56 then.
I was 56 in 2014.
No, you're 54. I can't do math.
No. I'm 48.
You're 48. So you were
42 when we met.
You were 42. Okay. So You need to fill me in on what happened between age 19 and 48. Go.
The 90s, man. The 80s were over.
That's
The
what that's
90s.
his life story. Is like, it's the 90s, dude. Like, okay.
Yeah, the 90s happened. You know, I just kind of ditched everything. You know, started a band with some friends and did that for a bunch of years. And, you know, after that fell apart, did a bunch of traveling, probably traveled the intercontinental United States, coast to coast, maybe 7 or 8 times.
How did you do this travel?
First couple of times I did in
Let me ask you, let me tell you why I'm asking. Because
yeah.
I envision you with like a stick with like all your belongings like wrapped up in like a red handkerchief like hanging from the stick.
Yeah.
I can't take you seriously like that.
Oh, really? It's just it's
No,
my
it's fine. Just put it back. It's good. Just looks like you're trying out for Lord of the Rings. Like
trying out. Looks like he made it.
Okay, so you're traveling across the country, and like, is there a goal in mind? Like,
you know, like a couple of times I was just helping a friend get here and there, and I was going to take the opportunity. And I guess one time I was going to you know, one of those rainbow gathering things. And then I hitchhiked a few times, and then a couple other times, more than quite a few, were band tours. You know, eventually I would settle somewhere and meet people and dig in and get a new band started. And you know, I've lived in Portland, Oregon. I've lived in Bloomington, Indiana, and spent time in you know, San Francisco and all up and down the coast, and you know, New York, and a little bit of everywhere. And right now I'm dug in Georgia.
and do you look back at this time fondly? Is this fun?
Yeah, I had a great time. Learned a lot about myself, a lot about people. Um, I kind of wish I kept a better journal of it, because you know, a lot of it gets lost in memory. But yeah.
What role did drugs and alcohol play in this 20 years ensuing? He smiles like it wasn't like none.
No, of course not. I was in a band in the 90s, in the grunge era. I mean, I took some LSD, and, you know, experimented with mushrooms and weed, of course. And you know, in the heart of you know, expanding your mind for art and whatnot. And
Did it work?
yeah, I mean, I'm totally burnt out now.
Right. Okay. So, all right. So take us up to the time where you. So, but are you always producing art throughout this time, or are you just in a band?
Yeah.
And are you?
Yeah. Let's see. In the 90s, I was in like, well, the mid 90s, I was in the band. So I think we produced 5 records that we recorded ourselves, and we put them out ourselves. One was there in the 90s, of course. It was cassettes, and then CDs, and then you know, 4-track recording. 4-track stuff was real big, and so we did a lot of 4-track stuff. And then after that, I guess, like, I was doing a lot of puppetry. Like, well, in college, I was trying to do a painting major, and then I did some printmaking and some film and video stuff. I did a lot of like video cataloging, like
Mhm.
documentary style, like just record, like videotaping everything that happened around me. And then in 2000, I ended up moving to, or it was the end of the 90s. I lived in Yosemite National Park, and I made a lot of like um, puppets out of like, I just sewed things. I just started sewing a lot, and um, I actually sewed my own backpack for my hitchhiking and stuff. And
See, I told you the stick and like
but yeah, I mean, yeah, it was like really like that. It's like I mean, the pictures were of that. If I had them, they would be really bizarre to look at. But that.
so
Go ahead, yeah.
so you're making puppets, and are you deriving an income from your art, or are you working odd jobs this whole time?
I'm working odd jobs.
And was there ever a job you settled into for a long time, or was everything just a temporary way to get by?
Everything was pretty temporary, like mainly like restaurant jobs, dishwashing. That like I have a lot of dishwashing experience. So
But was the band, was that the goal? I mean, were you trying
yeah.
trying to like make it like that
Oh yeah,
was was this all a sacrifice in you
yeah.
know i- in search of
In search of Nirvana.
Hollywood dreams? So then what happens to the band?
The first band, I had a lot of different issues. The first band I was in, I guess, our
What was the
lead
first
guitar,
what was the name of the first band?
October Groundfly,
Okay.
3 words.
And
But
then
our lead guitarist was he had a lot of issues with drugs and alcohol, and he was also uh, became a born again Christian, and so he got saved again for the last time, and that kind of just kicked off the band. And uh,
sorry for laughing.
no, it's actually hilarious.
I'm sorry to him, not to you.
I think he probably think it's pretty funny too. Actually had a reunion show. We had a 20-year reunion show.
Get out.
Yeah, and it was it might have been 2014 as well. The same
Really?
year as you. Yeah.
And so everyone was still alive. So were you just an indie band the whole time, or did you actually like um you get any record company interest or anything like that?
We had this one local guy that was putting out local bands, and
Hmm.
he threw a bunch of money down on some bands and really didn't know what he was doing. And so yeah, nothing real.
And
Um,
then but then that was the first band, and then the second band, how long did that last?
well, between the first and the second, there were other bands that were like more unofficial. So the next, like, I guess, dedicated band went pretty well. We actually put out, like, I think also like 4 or 5 records,
Wow.
uh, all on CD. We put them out. We had one
What's the
of
name of
our,
that band?
that band was called Zum Zum.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, we had a record on one record label, like a local Athens label, put out our record, and then we put out all our records ourselves, and then we had friends who had record labels, and so we would just kind of help everybody put out records, DIY record community kind of thing.
Nice. And then what do you play? You sing? You play something?
I played bass. Starting off, I played bass, and then
Hmm.
going into it, I kind of learned a little bit of everything, just enough to get by. And I wouldn't really call myself an actual musician, but I can play guitar, bass, keyboards.
You've been in all these bands for 20 years and or more, and you don't call yourself a musician?
Yeah, I'm just like faking it enough to get by.
Nobody else notices?
No, they don't seem to notice. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people are kind of faking it. I mean, I don't know. I just you know, I do what comes natural. I was in marching band, but you know, I don't know. I'm
So
being modest, but I'm really not that good.
okay. So are you still in bands today?
No, not at the moment.
I mean, would you be in a band tomorrow if you found the right people?
Yeah, I mean, we talk to dudes all the time about it's just kind of a fantasy world right now. I'm starting a band in this era, and like, there's really nowhere to play, and
Right. I mean,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, you know, obviously the COVID situation is not making for. Yeah, I get that, but I mean, like, so you that
it's still something I'm interested in. Yeah,
right? Okay, that's what I'm getting at. That bug is not gone.
no,
That's still on your mind. So, how did you get into 3D art? How did you? What did you see? What did you do that just made you go, I want to make action figures? How drunk were you that one day when you decided to embark on a
actually
career of
don't get drunk
action?
that much. I'm more of a weak guy.
Sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry.
How stoned were you on that day
I
where
was
you
pretty
decided?
stoned. I would say I was relatively high when I decided to do that. Um, I don't regret it, but yeah, I'm not sure what I was sitting there.
I,
Kind of,
what's interesting to me is like you made the decision while you were high, but then when you were not high, you just decided to go with it.
yeah, that's how all decisions go. I mean,
I see. Okay, good to know. How often when I call you to talk are you stoned?
I'm probably like 99% of the time
Good to know.
that I'm awake.
We'll make a note.
No,
Um,
I'm just joking. What was the question?
oh shit.
I'm just kidding.
Um, so all right, so you still didn't answer my question. How did it get? I want to know how you get from you're wandering around the country, going from band to band. You still have this music bug, and
Yeah,
then
I mean, well, I mean, I've always wanted to be an artist. I mean, I drew comics, you know, like I, you know, I painted, I still paint, I still draw comics, and write, and, you know, any form of art. I feel like an artist, but like, I can't really define any sort of medium that I work in. I'm a media artist, and I just, um, you know, kind of will do whatever I can, like, you know, performance or anything. I mean, I guess, you know, I don't know. So, but as far as that goes, I mean, I had been doing like three-dimensional art, in other formats, like, you know, like with the puppets. That's just kind of like a you know, large action figure. So I was doing that in the 90s, and but when I guess when I first started doing this stuff is when I was, you know, in the 2011, 12 area, when I started um, reselling toys on eBay,
Mhm.
and trying to figure out how to like make more money. You know, like I find all these Lando Calrissian action figures, but like, yeah, I buy them all, but really, like, how many can I sell to really make any sort of profit margin on it? So I guess the first thing I did was like I put Lando Calrissian on a Han Solo body to do his
Mhm.
little, you know, when Lando gets on the Millennium Falcon and he doesn't have any clothes and he has to go through Han Solo's drawers to like, it's at the end of Empire Strikes Back.
uh,
You see him briefly, he's wearing Han Solo's clothes, and it's like, wait, what? It's like he had to raid Han Solo's closet because he didn't have enough time to pack a bag on his way out of Cloud City. So I did that action figure.
Uh-huh.
And then I kind of expanded from there. And yeah, it
And
was
how did you offer to sell this action figure somewhere?
no.
No.
I think I posted it on Facebook, and then
Mhm.
somebody was like, "Oh, that's funny," and they like started. People would post pictures of other things that they saw on the internet to inspire me to make other things, and you know, just seeing stuff and on eBay, and I guess it kind of came from like doing repros, like like re reproducing something that never existed, and then it just like formed from there. And I didn't really think I would get to a level where like I was making these like semi-original pieces of art with like other people drawing. Like, I don't know, it's been an interesting like evolution of it, of an
All
art
right.
for me.
But so you make this figure, but then what something has to be, did you see someone else do it or you just came to it on your own?
What, like the Lando figure?
Yeah, I mean just the whole idea of like the customizing.
um I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I think I did see people doing it when I started doing it. But I guess I was more into like I was starting sculpting my own stuff on like larger figures, like old Star Trek figures, or like the He-Man figures. And then I after a little bit of sculpting, it was like, I don't know if I just wasn't using the right kind of materials. It was like, it was hard to get like that, what I was really going for in that medium.
Mhm.
And I guess I did see some stuff on eBay, you know, that were like I think I told you before, the farts burger guy that was doing,
Pop's Fart Burger, yeah.
yeah, he was doing all those custom things. And you know, I was looking at like what they were selling for, and I was like, oh, I know these parts. And I guess like from seeing that stuff and then recognizing the parts, you know, like made me start doing that. But I would do like really obscure stuff that nobody would like like ever heard of or would want to have in their collection. And then I would do stuff that were like for friends. Like a friend of mine had a movie that he made, and it was all, the characters were all friends of mine, people that I knew. And so I made figures of all that, and that kind of like was like learning learning it. And then really like it's been getting all the materials to work with, you
Mm.
know.
So how do you get to 2014 and setting up at DesignerCon?
uh I went to in Athens, we have a zine fest. It's called Fluke,
Mhm.
and I set up there, and my friend Eddie was set up, and I had like, you know, the Mario figures and some other stuff, a couple Mutadroids things. And then Eddie suggested that we do the DCON experience.
Mhm.
And so we went and took that together. And I think he was like D.A.Marx Toys back then, and then now he's Triple Bummer. We set up at that, and yeah, that was his idea.
No, when I first saw you, you had like, I mean, so you were you were in Georgia by then?
At that time, I was in Georgia. Yes, that was my the second time, which is the current time I'm living here. But yeah.
Okay. um, that's the second time, which
Well, I
is the
moved, and remember I told you, and I moved.
current time. No, I understand what it means. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
make it make sense in my mind because that's not how non-stoned people talk.
Oh, okay. I actually haven't spoken to many people at all, stoned or not.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, so All right, so you show up at DesignerCon in 2014, and you just have these backpacks. How long did you prepare for that show? Because you had not backpacks, you had suitcases just filled with figures.
Mhm.
How many figures did you bring to that show? Like 100?
I don't remember, maybe 100, yeah.
How long did you prepare for that? Were you doing that for months?
I guess I was doing it for months. I don't remember. It was 6 years ago, but I did spend a lot of time doing it. I mean the Fluke. I had some stuff left over from Fluke.
Mhm.
It wasn't 100 figures. Was it 100 figures?
I mean,
was-
I bought 10 or 12 or 15, and
It
you
might
know
have
those other guys. Like,
been-
did you go home with nothing? Like,
No, I went home with stuff.
you had a lot of figures, dude.
I still do.
Noted. Okay, so 2014, you show up with these suitcases of stuff, and was it the Sucklord that told me to go to your table?
Yeah.
And so did he discovered your table first? What was that interaction like? Did you know who he was before?
I did know who he was.
Yeah.
I didn't really know that much about him, but Eddie told me that that he was kind of doing the same thing that I was doing, and I remember one thing that stuck out. He said he was about quantity over quality, and I was like, huh, I really like that. I like the way that's so. And
Something to aspire to. Yeah, it's good.
yeah, I mean, yeah. So yeah, when we walked in to set up, we walked right by his booth because I think he was by the entrance door,
Hmm.
and I just walked right up to him and introduced myself and told him where we were, and he came over and saw what I had and dug it, and then went and told you.
And then I came over, I bought a bunch of stuff, and then I went and told everyone else I knew, and they all came over and bought stuff from you.
Yeah, it was great. It was a really great experience. That first DCON. Yeah, sold so much stuff. Yeah, it's very inspiring.
What I think is funny about the Sucklord is he's not, how should I say this politely? He's not a fan of very many people, but
It's
he
true.
seems to have a very soft place in his heart for you.
Yeah, I think that's.
Have you know? Have you noticed that?
I think somewhat. I mean, yeah, I think he.
You
I
think
don't
you
know.
think he
It's
you
hard,
think he
it's a hard read. It's a hard read.
you think he truly likes you, or do you think he just doesn't perceive you as a threat?
Maybe that's it. Because I feel like sometimes it's hard to say. Like he's a hard read. I feel like sometimes we really hit it off, and then sometimes he's just really dismissive. And I know it's just like how he is. So I don't know. It's hard to read him, and I'm not going to pretend like I know what he's thinking. So, but I do think that yeah, there's a general respect on both ways there. So I think maybe it's like he sees that I have like knowledge of what I'm mimicking. I'm not just like, putting two things together, which sometimes it may seem like that, but there's, an underlying story that you gotta have to dig into a little bit more, or have like, um, the knowledge of, you know, who Cato Bain is,
Who's that?
that bounty hunter. You don't even know who that is. But Samuel knows who it is.
Okay, so your style has changed a lot since 2014. I would say that the pieces that I got from you in 2014 are very different in in style and than the stuff that you're making today. Like it was, I mean, you had pieces that were, I mean, the casting was a little crude, but I mean, there were pieces like you were hand drawing the card backs. I have one that you did with crayon, like, you know, I don't know. And then I remember I brought over another collector, and I was like describing your work to him, and I was describing it. I was describing it as folk art, you know,
Yeah.
and having this very kind of like naive quality about it that I got that term from Mark Todd. He always calls his, you know, when he describes his work, what does he
Okay.
say? Naive. What's the other word he uses?
Innocent.
Innocent. This is called very innocent. And so the buddy that I brought over there looked at you as I was saying this, and he said that it was making you mad. He said that like you had an angry look on your face as you overheard me describing your work. And
Was it with this? I was not mad.
You were not mad?
I think I do remember that sort of, and I remember thinking that was a real interesting take, and it actually made me if it made me think about it a lot, and it made me like kind of like I don't know, expand of what I'm doing. I mean, you said my work has changed a lot since then, so taking that in mind.
So, but was that an intentional? I mean, did you take that and decide like, hey, I need my work to be more polished? I mean, if you look at the stuff that you're doing now, I mean, it's like from the card printing to the quality of casting and painting, like everything is, I mean, that initial like suitcase full of work was, I mean, you had droids, like, I don't know about the quality of casting, but I mean, you just had like arms glued on, and it was like, it had a very different feel than today.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like figuring it out. And yeah, those that whole droid run was horribly casted, but I did that with a mold rubber that you could reuse.
Mm-hmm.
And so every time I poured the resin would heat and kind of change the mold a little bit. So every time I cast one, it was a little different, and each one would get. And I think the last like 2 or 3 were just like completely mutated. And,
Ian, where's the duck?
and then I just stuck on.
There's the duck. Sorry. Because, I mean, look at that. That's not what came out of that suitcase 6 years ago.
Yeah,
and I don't have a problem with what came out of the suitcase. I mean, like I said, I think I bought a dozen, and then I called you or, you know, emailed you and bought like, because I remember like your email address was like almost illegible. Like you put this like little text at the bottom, like right there. And I was trying to read it. And it was like Buzzard D.A.Marx. Like it was like, it's still so small. It's almost like you're trying to hide from people.
Yeah, I did hide those. That's not even my information on the back. That's all fake on the back.
But I mean, look at that. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Thank you. I think that came out really good. I'm really stoked on it.
Yeah. I mean, so this is a mashup of Howard the Duck and Back to the Future?
Yeah, you know, I was thinking Howard the Duck universe. You know, it's not Howard. You know, Howard is from a planet of ducks. It's an alternate dimension where everything is exactly like our dimension, except it's the ducks were the evolved species.
They're
So
like the dominant species.
Everything that happens on the Howard the Duck's planet
Hmm.
also happens on our planet. So they would have a Back to the Future as well. And they would probably have a dove.
That's deep, dude.
It would be I guess it would be DUK Toys, Duck Toys.
All right.
Or,
So what's next? How is the future? I mean, is this you? Is you gonna keep doing this forever?
yeah, I'll keep making toys. I haven't really I mean, I have a lot of stuff, but I haven't really been interested in selling it lately, and or engaging the buyers really.
Is that because of just now, like the past 6 months and COVID and stuff like that, or has that been a trend since before?
Yeah, it's kind of been a thing. I'm kind of resistant to like engaging the public and selling. Like I do it, but I mean, it's even harder now. I don't want to go to the post office, and I guess if I had a better system, maybe I would start selling more. But
They do pick up,
yeah,
Doesn't a mail carrier come to your house every day?
yeah, they do.
Yeah, you could hand them a box,
Yeah.
You could prepay online and go here, have 2 boxes for you.
In the meantime, though, I have a lot of stuff stacking up. So if I die, there'll be a lot of stuff available then.
Yeah. All right, Henry Darger. Yeah, and who's gonna get it? How many people are you living with right now?
I don't know, 3 or 4. They're never here,
They're never there?
but they're not like my family. Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it?
I don't know. Do you have who's your next of kin? Like, I mean, you don't have kids. Like, you have brothers, sisters, your parents alive?
Yeah, I have all that. Not kids.
Okay, so let's say you outlive your parents, as you're supposed to. If you don't live a crazy life of excess and ruin your body.
I'll be lucky if I outlive my grandma.
You have nieces and nephews?
Yes.
Yes.
Many nieces and nephews.
How many is many?
Like at least 10, maybe more.
At least 10. And do you get along with them?
Yeah, they're all right.
I mean, like, do you hang? Do you talk, or like, do they just think you're just like creepy Uncle Dain?
I mean, I don't really see my like blood family very much. They all mostly live in Louisiana or Texas. No, I'll sell this stuff. I won't leave this to whoever's going to control my estate. unless you want to be in charge of that.
Can you explain to me why you said that about your estate and all 3 of us in this room laughed?
I don't know. Who else is in that room?
This is Ian and Janky.
Oh, well, I have a lot of toys, so it's mainly toys. So, yeah, I would just sell all that and give it to
after you're dead. After you're dead.
After I'm dead.
Who's gonna do that?
You're gonna do it for me. You're gonna give it to that charity.
Right. All right. So I'd like you to take care of your will as soon as possible, and you just leave everything to my children.
I'll leave it to John's children. It's a good idea.
And then we'll have to come out and cremate you.
Okay.
Take you back home. Did you hear what Ian said?
No.
He said we'll plant you in a weed plant. No, I think we take his ashes, we put it in the resin, and we make figures.
Yeah. I say both. You do that.
Haunted. Haunted by Dain.
It's, you know. Wow.
My
This
figures
this
do have voodoo powers in them.
what has voodoo powers?
My figures.
Your figures have voodoo powers.
Yeah, I do a voodoo spell on
I
each
see.
and every one of them.
Did he get a pain today? Whenever I opened the box?
Did you what?
So did he feel it whenever I opened the box?
Ian wants to know if you felt it when he opened the box today.
Interesting.
I did.
Okay, this is going dark really fast. Yeah, it is the end of the day. All right, dude. So I guess so. I've already asked this question, but I guess I didn't get my answer. So this is you, like you're just gonna be just wandering the earth like Cain,
Yeah, I'm
creating your art and
working on a new film.
a new film. Okay.
Yeah, with a friend of mine, and it's about isolation, and it's about losing the old you to, like, the future you, and it's
Sounds like a very autobiographical story.
it's, I mean, it kind of like, I mean, all art has got some of that,
Sure.
like, so there's a little bit a little bit of blood and semen and everything.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm planning on going up to New York, actually, probably in the next couple of weeks. And it's going to be an immersive film where I'm, probably like kind of lose my mind a little bit, but I'll keep in touch.
You're gonna lose your mind in person or in the movie?
In the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be a
Okay.
feature film.
Uh-huh.
To answer a question in the chat.
And do you do everything yourself? Do you do the lighting and the sound and camera?
Yeah, well,
Do you have a crew?
We have a really small crew. It's just me and another dude, and we kind of do it like Harmony Korine, like Dogma 95 style, where we just use kind of what's available to us in the moment. We're trying to do a feature film within a span of a short period of time, and it's always the goal to finish, get everything we need within that short period of time, but it doesn't always work out, so we have to go back to it and do like kind of write it as we go. But we have it's not a very traditional way of making film, to say the least. So but it's pretty successful and very enriching for myself doing it. Last Days, I'll check that out. Yeah, kind of like documentary style is what I'm doing.
All right, dude. Well, it's been a pleasure.
Has it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, always a pleasure to talk to you.
I really do miss hanging out with you guys. I'm sorry I'm not more I'm really bad at public speaking. But I'm looking at these 3 figures behind you, and the 3 that I want are in a
Oh, is this devolving into shopping again?
3 rows from your head.
3 rows, which one?
3 right there. So Marvin Berry down. No. Marvin Berry down, that row down. I want all 3 of those. Yeah.
All 3 of which? You want the matchmaking space is sold out.
Oh man.
But I can get you Marvin Berry and the Pumpkin Pop toys if you want those too.
Yes, I want those 2.
All right. Ian, could you remove those and kindly write those on a sheet of paper?
And I got
anything
today.
You got what?
You got your package today. Thank you.
Nice. All right, dude. really appreciate it. Always a pleasure. And you don't have to feel bad about not seeing us because this is COVID time and we don't really want to see you right now. I mean, we do, but we kind of, I mean, we want to see you. We want to see everyone, but, and I guess that's the thing I miss most about DesignerCon is the party afterwards. That's the highlight for me.
Yeah.
And that's the saddest part of, it's not the saddest part of all this. There's like, you know, hundreds of thousands of dead people. But, you know, I just personally, I'll just say I missed that part of it, being able to have that time to connect.
This would have
with
been the
people.
year that I would have gone. Since I've been, it's been every other year,
Yeah.
14, 16, 18. So I would have gone to this year. I was planning on going this year.
There's always next year, dude.
But is it?
Oh, well, we're
Is
just
there-
gonna
is
say
there
that
always next year?
we're just gonna say that there is,
Okay.
because
Well,
if we,
next year then,
because otherwise it's pretty fucking depressing. All right, dude. I will talk to you soon.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Turn me off, Janky.
Working on it.
Oh boy.